Marvel!
Objection! Capcom!
Marvel!
Well, how about both? Oh my God, they're doing it!
I know!
Believe that shit!
Oh my god!
It's been like how long? Well, it really hasn't been that long.
Since MVC3?
Ultimate?
Ultimate, that was 2011?
2011, 2012?
20, yeah, I think it was 2011.
Well, people, we're here to talk about the newest entry on the Marvel vs. series.
Yep.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
By the way, welcome to Ankle Pickers, where if you don't like what we have to say, start blocking low. I'm Nathan.
Sergio.
All right. By the way, Bill is not joining us today. He's otherwise occupied. So, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
We're like super late about it, but who cares? I mean, they announced it in the PlayStation Experience, which was a couple weeks ago. And when I saw the trailer for it, my first reaction was, holy shit, they brought X back. Right.
No, they put X in. A proper
I'm sorry, yeah, not Zero was... He had an X costume. Which
it was just a palette swap.
It was a fucking tease.
Yeah, it was a palette swap. That's all it was.
But, so they, first off, they're like, okay, Capcom's like, we fucked up, here's X. And then you see Ryu.
Well, the thing is, there were rumors circulating for what, at least a week before that, where there was stuff going around in the fighting game community talking about that at PlayStation Experience they might announce a Marvel vs. Capcom 4. No one really thought it was gonna happen.
I got my hopes up because I think it was Kotaku that shared that article, and it was like celebrating. I think it said something about celebrating 20 years of the whole thing. So I'm like, okay.
Which is a little inaccurate, but yeah.
I don't know what it was. I can't really remember. But they had the 4 logo that looked fake as fuck. I was like, there's no way. And then underneath, Sony, Capcom, and Marvel.
No one really figured out if that was real or not. I'm leaning toward fake.
Everybody was like, it's not real. And I wasn't getting my hopes up, and a lot of people weren't getting their hopes up either.
But the closer it got to PlayStation Experience, the more and more likely it seemed like it was a possibility, because then other information started getting leaked, and they were saying, well, it may not be a Marvel vs. Capcom 4, it might be a reboot. And all of these things. And then Saturday comes, the bunch of us are all hanging out here, you check Facebook, and they say, there's a trailer, and we watch the trailer, and I wish we had recorded ourselves reacting to the trailer, even though I think the reaction videos are really silly. But
Capcom laid it out pretty good.
We never thought this was going to happen. When we were watching the trailer, it shows 4 characters, and we get a glimpse of what we can expect in the game. That first trailer seemed more like it was cinematics as opposed to actual gameplay. There was another video later that weekend that showed 2 more characters.
They aired,
and then actually showed some of the gameplay.
They aired the trailer after the Capcom Cup, which I did watch, and it was awesome. Which, by the way, they aired in ESPN too, which is kind of odd. It was a rerun.
It's an e-sport.
Well, it was a rerun. It wasn't like live.
ESPN 2 is where they throw all the sporting events that regular ESPN doesn't want to bother.
Well, they were like...
ESPN 2 shows sumo wrestling.
Holy shit, I don't know.
At least they did a few years ago. But I was channel surfing. I came across it.
But they were like... I'm going to stop and talk about this real quick. They were like, oh, wow, we didn't get that many views on the Capcom Cup. Well, no, because... you ran a fucking rerun. It wasn't live. If it would have been live, it would have been a bit different. That's just me.
Yeah.
But anyways, they showed gameplay, and then they showed another 2 characters, which were Morgan.
Yeah, so we have 6 characters confirmed right now. Ryu, good old Ryu here. X, Morgan for Capcom. And then we have Iron Man, Captain Marvel, and it's the Carol Danvers Captain Marvel.
Captain America.
And Captain America.
Captain America!
Yeah. Which, well, I think most of those were characters that we kind of expected to be in there. But the things that are circulating about this is that it's not... In terms of, well, we could talk about a lot of things, but let's talk about the gameplay first. What we've seen with the gameplay. It looks like the game itself is going to be kind of this weird combination of just about every other Capcom-made Marvel fighting game. Not just the Versus series, because it's borrowing elements from just about all of it. It's kind of cherry-picking the things that work. You're going to be able to use gems, the Infinity Gems in this, kind of like in Marvel Superheroes, but instead of picking them up in gameplay, you choose which one you get at the start, but they do give you some sort of power-up. It's going to be kind of like X Factor Light.
Yeah.
It's going to be a comeback mechanic. It's 2-on-2, like the original Marvel vs. Capcom. You don't have strikers, so that's probably the big thing that's different. The tag system is not like any of the previous games. It's going to be a bit more like
Cross Tekken.
Street Fighter Cross Tekken, but it's using a lot of. It seems like it's using the same sort of graphical style as 3, a lot of the same movesets as 3, at least from the returning characters.
Look, to me, it looks like it's going to have a lot of the similar moves. I don't think it's going to play like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 at all. I mean, it looks like the fast gameplay is going to be there.
Oh, the other thing is that even though they said that the button layout has not been finalized yet, the videos seem, on close examination, seem to advocate for 4 attack buttons: a light punch and a strong punch, a light kick and a strong kick, as well as probably a tag move and a button to activate the gem.
So it's going to be a mix of MVC2 and Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Yeah, because MVC2 had 4 buttons.
So yeah, it's not going to be light, medium, strong, and special like in
3, which is actually good. Will actually be a bit more like the style of say air combos as 1 and 2, or in the previous games where you actually would do something like a crouching strong launch, and then you have to be a little bit more intentional about it.
So you might actually have to put in some fucking effort for your air combos on this one. Just saying.
I like the air combo system in 3.
It's fun, but it's like all you do is tap a button and woo, you're in the air now. It's not like, okay, crouch punch, fuck, I gotta press down now. All right, boom, 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 bam.
Yeah. Well, let's talk. The primary focus of this video is we're going to be talking about not so much what's already been revealed, but what we would like to see in the game. So, since we just talked about what the gameplay related things, what do we want to see in this game in terms of gameplay?
Oh my god.
I would like to see, for real, the button layout that's being theorized right now. Because it would be interesting to go back to that style of gameplay.
I'm just secretly fucking wishing that this would be 2-on-2 player co-op. My god.
It needs to be. If this could be 4-player local,
ooh.
just like Street Fighter Cross Tekken, that would be stupendous. I understand why you couldn't necessarily do like 6-player local in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but if you could do it like Street Fighter Cross Tekken, have 4-player local multiplayer, and do co-op online. You and I are gonna go nuts on that game.
I have doubts that it's gonna happen because of the way everything's set up now and how fast.
But Street Fighter Cross Tekken did it.
I know, but the way that they want the game to perform and graphics.
But Street Fighter Cross Tekken did it and it worked.
But crossing fingers, it could happen. You never know.
Capcom, make this happen. You make this happen, you will have one of the best MVC titles ever, because the only time you've ever done something remotely like this was the Dreamcast port of Marvel vs. Capcom 1.
That's way back.
Even the download version, Marvel vs. Capcom Origins, didn't do this. But you could have a 2-on-2 4-player in that. Only the Dreamcast version had that. And it was something that was not in the. I don't think it was in the arcade necessarily, and it was not in the PlayStation port.
I didn't even know about that till you just brought it up.
It was amazing. The goofy thing is that you couldn't make it so that you could have 3 players. It had to be 4. There was no choice. It was either 2 or 4. There was no other options. You couldn't have 3 people.
All right, so that would be one thing that I would like to see. Another thing, character-wise, man. Oh my god.
Well, we'll get to the roster here in a second. What kind of are there other gameplay things you would like to see, or maybe some what kind of modes or something like that? Gameplay and modes.
See, from what I've been hearing, they're gonna have a pretty solid story mode, which makes.
I'm very curious about that because I read a list of features for the game online, and it said it was supposed to have a story mode. There's never been a real story mode in a versus series game.
It's kind of hard.
So the fact that they're even going to try, I mean, even if you have to just go full tilt crazy to even make sense of all of this, I mean, NetherRealms, well, they were still midway at the time. They at least tried to come up with something. First time they ever tried to really do an extensive story mode in one of their games was in Mortal Kombat vs. DC. They at least tried. It was kind of silly, but it still more or less worked.
Whatever the
They've
case
gotten
is,
better with their storytelling since then.
I have a feeling they're gonna have a pretty solid story in the game. I mean, arcade mode, it's kind of a fucking given. Versus, like I said, 2-on-2 versus would be fucking amazing.
And by the way, make sure you have all of this day one. I hope you learned your lesson from Street Fighter V.
I'm pretty sure they have. But
all right, the big thing is
trials, your mission modes, all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
you need all. You're definitely going to want all of that. And good netcode, please, good netcode. We loved Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but netcode was a little bit suspect at points.
Shit.
But the big thing that I know everybody's going to be talking about is the roster. We only have 6 characters right now. We have no idea how many characters they're going to have.
You see, here's the thing, though.
And we don't know who they're going to use.
Here's the thing. No matter who they put in the game, they're not going to please everybody. And I'm okay with that. Well, here's the thing now. With the way Fox and Marvel are playing ball right now, we were kind of wondering if there were going to be any X-Men characters at all. And I did hear a rumor that there's possibilities of X-Men and Fantastic Four characters being DLC.
It's more than rumors. It was actually information that was garnered from the developer.
That's good.
Where he said that they understand that X-Men and Fantastic Four characters are, for people who are fans of the game.
I need Doom back. I need Doom back. Please don't fuck him up. Bring him.
But they said that they understand that there's a long-standing legacy with those characters in the games, so they are planning on having them in there, but they'll be DLC characters because they initially were told by Marvel to focus on MCU characters. And so the characters that you see in the movies, maybe the television shows. How weird would it be if Agent Coulson was a playable character? That would be strange.
Gee, why not? I mean, fucking Phoenix Wright was. So what's Coulson gonna do? Get shot and then get back up in the next fucking
round? He got stabbed.
Oh, I'm sorry. He got stabbed. Anyways,
impaled through the chest specifically.
I mean, there's huge
but even if you're only going to use at the start, at the very least, MCU characters, I mean, that offers a lot of possibilities. You can still bring a lot of characters back from previous games, which they're obviously doing, at least with the Marvel side. And that also gives you opportunity to bring in a few characters who haven't, like Carol Danvers' Captain Marvel. She'd never been in a video game before. She's actually a fairly obscure character. Her movie isn't even out yet. And they're throwing her into the game already. Let's talk about what Marvel characters we'd like to see in here. We've got 3. We don't know how large the roster is going to be. I think this was a debate we got into with Bill because he was saying, if it's only 2-on-2, it's probably going to have a smaller roster. It's a step back from Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I don't think it's necessarily that. And even if it has a smaller roster, when it comes to fighting games, I am a huge advocate of having a smaller roster of really good characters that I can sink my teeth into, as opposed to having a giant roster where half the characters aren't that, or only half the characters are good.
It's like MVC2. It's like everybody loves that game, but really it's just like all these old sprites thrown in.
Yeah, but let's be honest.
You have like Bone Claw Wolverine and regular Wolverine.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
Yeah, let's be honest. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had 56 characters. That's the largest in any of the Versus series, but only about half of them are viable, and even then it boils down to 4, like I said earlier. Cable, Sentinel, Magneto, and to a lesser extent Storm. And the only reason Storm's on the list is because she's an excellent anti-Sentinel.
Look, I would be okay with 50 characters, 25 Marvel, 25 Capcom, and then if they want to do 5 DLC for Capcom and 5 DLC for Marvel, that would be 60. That's doable.
Yeah, but the thing is, you also have to take into account what kind of game that you're doing. So if you have a team-based game, you want to have a larger roster so there's a larger combination of characters you can do. That's why stuff like King of Fighters usually has a large roster, because it's 3-on-3 team-based. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 were 3-on-3, so they had to have a large roster so you have a lot of variety. If you did 3-on-3 but only had 20 characters, it would get kind of old fast.
So you're saying 20 Marvel, 20 Capcom, maybe 5 DLC Capcom, 5 DLC Marvel?
Yeah, so with a total of 50, I think that would be reasonable. There's about 50 characters in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 once all is said and done.
Yeah, that was with Shumagorath and Jill as DLC.
Yeah. So let's talk about, okay, what Marvel characters we would like to see.
Since let's just throw 5, because then we can talk for fucking hours about this.
One I definitely think should be in there, especially since they're doing the MCU thing and they're going to bring in the Infinity Gems. You need this guy. You need Thanos.
Yeah.
You can't do the Infinity Gems without Thanos.
I have a feeling it's going to be he might be the end boss, or like, I don't know.
Like in Marvel superheroes.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if you want to set him up exactly like that, because he was kind of busted.
Probably.
He was intentionally broken in Marvel vs. Capcom and Marvel superheroes, because he was the boss character and you could just own everybody with him. He was a ponage machine. They nerfed him a lot in Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
A ponage machine.
Yes. Trademark ponage machine.
That's probably a fucking shitty metal band out there. Anyway, so Thanos for me.
So yeah, but I don't know if you necessarily want him to play like that. It'd be interesting if like, maybe at least as the boss version, maybe he could use all of the gems, because you're supposed to pick this from one of the 6. Maybe his thing is that he can use all of them. Just like he had super combos based off of each of the gems, and they were all crazy powerful. So he had 6 super combos when most everybody only had 3.
Come on, man. Next character. Gonna be your
Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy. You and I were talking about this. It was like, okay, we have to get some Guardians of the Galaxy in there. Bring back Rocket, but do you have, well, who else from the team do you have? And what we settled on was that you have Star-Lord, but then set him up like Captain Commando, where he can summon the other characters. So that way you could, say, have Rocket and Star-Lord on a team, and then Star-Lord can bring in the other 3.
You could bring in Drax and Groot and Gamora.
And they could do moves similar to what the Captain Commando's buddies could do. And they even do a crazy super combo where all of them come out and then they do something together. Yeah. So and then like if you could do the double super combo,
maybe Bautista will come out and Bautista bottom. Alright, so that's your second one. What about your third one?
Because I'd love to see Beautiful Joe come back, because I love Beautiful Joe.
He's coming back.
It's a superhero game, so you kind of have to have him. But another Capcom character, also Clover related, that I would like to see. I'm going to make this my number 3.
Bayonetta?
No. She's not Capcom.
I know.
Is Jean from God Hand. I know he's a kind of a fringe character, but Jean from God Hand would be incredibly fun. And my brother and I actually thought of how you could make Jean, as he is in God Hand, work in a Marvel vs. Capcom game. Like make one of his super combos a power-up mode where he turns on the God Hand, so he gets like super fast and has higher damage output. And then make one of his super combos the roulette wheel. So like you activate it and then you cycle through a bunch of other potential super moves that you could do. You pick one and then it combos into it, just like in the God Hand game.
The problem is with that character that we haven't seen him in so long, and it's.
And how many games did Beautiful Joe have under his belt?
But he's a little
3.
He's a little more well-known character than Jean.
This is true, but they're still throwing in obscure characters into this. How many people knew who Rocket Raccoon was before that game? How many people who knew who Taskmaster was before that game?
Nobody knew who the fuck Taskmaster was.
Yeah, I didn't know who Taskmaster was, and I'm the frickin' nerd.
Next.
Okay, so Jean.
That's 4. 5. last one.
Let's see, we've already... Oh, because I said Beautiful Joe. Oh, do I want to pick a Marvel or a Capcom here? Okay, fine, Sentinel. I want Sentinel back. Because I run Sentinel in 3.
You fucking do.
There,
I don't
said it.
understand the appeal of that fucking shit robot. They should bring Nimrod instead of him. Fuck Sentinel.
I like Sentinel. Sentinel is really fun in 3 because they do some humorous things with him.
They should bring...
I mean, come on. His taunts are hilarious because all he does is he says what a taunt is supposed to do. You know, threaten target, undermine target's confidence. I mean, it's funny because he's a robot and just stating outright what it's supposed to do.
Okay, so Sentinel. So can you rename your list?
Okay. Star-Lord, Beautiful Joe, Gene from Godhand, Sentinel, and Thanos.
Not a bad choice. Not a bad choice. Doctor Doom, because I love Doctor Doom. Venom, because it's fucking Venom. They're gonna.
But
have
you want which
Spider-Man.
version of Venom?
I want
do you
Eddie
them?
Brock.
The Eddie
He's
Brock
classic,
version.
Yeah.
I could see making the other versions of Venom alternate costumes, at the very least. But yeah.
Now, those are going to be the only Marvel characters that I want, because I want more Capcom than Marvel in this. At least I do. Now, on the villain side, because personally I think Ultimate 3 lacked of Capcom villains.
Yeah, they have what? Wesker,
Nemesis,
Firebrand, yeah.
Akuma, technically.
Akuma. That's about
That's
it.
kind of it. But then, Virgil.
Virgil. Cheap.
Fucking Virgil! Fuck you, Capcom. You bring him back, I won't buy your game. No, I'm playing. So yeah, Doctor Doom, Venom from my Marvel side, and from Capcom, man, I would love to see Sigma. If they bring...
Oh, Sigma would be so great.
If they bring... Look, if they already have X, so if they bring Zero and put those... You can have a team with Zero and X. That's like every Capcom's... Like fucking Mega Man fans' dream right there, and then you have Sigma.
Dynamic duo right
Yeah,
there.
and then you have Sigma.
And
which
make
is-
Sigma the version of Sigma that you fight in the first X game. When he had the cape. It was his original body, had the cape and the lightsaber. And I think that would be the easiest one to translate into.
And then maybe
Marvel
one of his
versus
level
Capcom.
3s could be that he changes form or some shit like that. But, so Sigma, that would be my third character. My fourth character would have to be Firebrand, because I fucking love Firebrand. It's one of my favorite. I know you hate him. I know you hate Firebrand.
Well, the funny thing is to kind of backtrack a little bit, when we watched that trailer, and they showed this character in shadow, it was a silhouette, and it looked like somebody sitting on a throne.
Looked
I
like
thought at
Ultron.
first it was Ultron, but then there was what looked like, you saw these red eyes, and then it looked like a face appeared on his chest. I was like, what the flip is that? That can't be Ultron.
I told you what it was.
And you think it's Satan from
I think
Ghosts and Goblins.
I do think it's Satan from Ghosts and Goblins, because when you fight him, he's got a face on his chest, and his face, and he's like, you're like running around, and he's like shooting shit at you, and lasers are coming out and everything. So I don't know. I don't think they would go that way because it's a little too silly, but they could.
I just think it would be interesting. It's Thanos is kind of the big bad in there, trying to get the gauntlet and stuff. I would think you would want at least one big bad Capcom villain.
Right.
But anyway, go back. Satan is not one of your 5.
No, it's not.
You know, out of context, that sounds awful.
It does. It does. But and then my last Capcom character would have to be, I really want them to dig up some really old and obscure character. And I really can't think of any. I just really want something like
Gene from Godhand?
not Gene from God. I haven't played enough God.
That's obscure.
It is, but man, I forgot the character's name.
Dimitri? Bison?
Actually, I wanted I wanted Maximo from the Maximo series.
Oh, Maximo. Wow. Because that was kind of like the PS2 3D Ghosts and Goblins.
Oh god. Fuck you, Wolverine. You wait your turn. But yeah, man, I would love to see Maximo because he's just so weird and obscure, and the games were fun. So if they have Satan in there, it would all be awesome if they put in Firebrand, and then they put Arthur, and then Maximo, and then Satan. That would be 4 characters from that one series, but I doubt they'll do it. I really doubt they'll do it.
That might be a little much. They don't want to tilt it too far in one or the other.
But you can make him work, because he kind of plays like a... I'd say he's got a sword and he does a bunch of slashing. He's a warrior type character, but it would be fun. So...
I'm surprised you didn't bring up Dimitri or Bison. I know that's a couple of characters we've talked about.
I don't think about... Yeah, Dimitri. Actually, fuck that. Scratch that, Maximum. Fuck you. Dimitri from fucking Darkstalkers. Because I'm sick and tired of them putting... Morgan, okay, you have to have Morgan. Female version of Ryu with big tits. That's
and the lowest neckline ever.
Soulfist. Her and Felicia are like, no doubt, they have to be in the fucking game for some reason now. But I don't understand why Hisanko,
Hasenko, Shenko. I've heard it pronounced about
Shenko.
5 different ways. I don't know.
Shetko, I don't fucking know.
She's bottom tier from what I remember.
I don't understand why she's there. Like, look, you can put Lord Raptor, you could put fucking Dimitri,
Pyron?
Pyron? Holy shit, Pyron would be amazing. I'm trying to remember. Jeddah, holy shit, Jeddah's like my favorite character.
John Talbot.
John Talbot would be the shit too. I mean, there's all these Darkstalker characters, and this is a good opportunity for Capcom to try the fucking waters for a new...
You were saying?
Reviving the Darkstalker franchise by bringing or putting in these characters. That would be a good way to try them. You know? Be like, alright, let's put Jeddah or Pyro.
Pyron.
Whatever the fuck is
Alright, Pyro is a Marvel character.
Put both Pyro and Pyron.
That's not confusing at all!
But I think that'd be awesome. But I don't know. We'll see what they do. Whatever they do, I'll be okay with.
All right, who do you think should the final boss should be? Because there's the Capcom Marvel games have a very interesting history with final bosses.
I really don't want this guy to be the final boss because we've seen it already. So if maybe we think this is gonna be the end boss, and then it turns out that like Ultron comes and like fucks him up, takes the fucking gauntlet, and some weird shit happens, that'd be awesome.
I could see like kind of like with Antonov in KOF 14, where you get to him and you think he's the final boss, and then it turns out, nope, he's not the final boss, here's the real final boss, and then you fight him instead. And which they do instead of making you fight a boss with 2 forms, which was kind of a KOF thing for a while.
I really just hope that they don't end up making their own boss like with MBC2.
Abyss.
Oh god, that
and Abyss was abysmal.
Really
he was a cakewalk compared to other bosses.
Onslaught will fuck you up. Anyway.
Okay, it sounds a lot bit like the video we tried to make. We'll talk about that a bit more later. But
Onslaught is just...
But yeah, it should be I think it should be an established character, but the thing of it is, in all the other Versus series games, it was always a Marvel character. You know, it was Apocalypse, it was Onslaught, it was Galactus.
Plus they had Cyber Akuma before Apocalypse, so maybe it is going to be Satan. You know, maybe it is going to be Satan, and you fight Satan, and then maybe it's this guy, or what's his name? Ultron. You know,
or Ultron. Ultron would be an interesting one to throw in there. Loki. Oh my gosh, Loki.
Vision.
Oh man, there's so many possibilities.
We could go on. we need to stop right now.
Oh man, yeah, we could go on.
Anyways,
so if let us know in the comments what you guys think. What are you looking forward to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite?
I'm sure.
What features would you like to see? What characters do you think would be really cool to see in the game? Let us know, and then we'll do our best to respond in kind, because we love talking with our audience. So. Looking forward to this. I can't wait.
I'm pretty sure everybody...
It's going to be exciting.
And I was just thinking about this. We're going to have Injustice 2 and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite next year. We are going to crap our pants with superheroes next year. We're going to... Superhero overload.
We've already got, 7 superhero movies coming out in 2017?
God,
and now we're going to have these 2 fighting games? high-profile fighting games.
Maybe Marvel will decide to throw in Mickey and fucking Darth Vader. Why not? Guest characters.
And they're like, NetherRealms is doing it. We're gonna have guest characters. You get Darth Vader.
We're gonna have Goofy and Jar Jar Bean as the secret DLC characters.
No, if they make them DLC characters, nobody will buy them. They're unlockables.
They're secret unlockables.
If you get through the game on the highest difficulty without losing, you fight Jar Jar Binks.
No, you have to fight Shin Donald Duck. You fight Shin Donald Duck. That's how you unlock Jar Jar Binks. Cut! Get this shit out of here. Stop it already. All right. You guys have a good day, good afternoon, good night.